What if you could read her body before she ever says a word? Welcome to Stoicism Drive, where we dive deep into the unseen psychology of human desire, behavior, and emotional connection. Today's episode, one of the most misunderstood yet captivating topics in human attraction, the signs a woman is physically aroused. Forget the myths, forget the cliches. We're not here to play guessing games, we're here to decode the science of subtlety. Understanding these signs isn't about manipulation. It's about empathy, connection, and emotional intelligence. It's about knowing how her body communicates what her words might not. And trust me, once you understand these cues, you'll never see attraction the same way again. So let's dive in, because once you spot these 5 signals, you'll begin to see a whole new world of emotional truth. 1. Body language, the silent signals of desire. Before a single word is spoken, her body already speaks. Body language is a powerful, primal communicator, often far more honest than anything she might say out loud. When a woman feels aroused, her body subtly reveals her desire. One of the clearest signs is how she physically positions herself. Does she lean in as you talk? That's not just curiosity, it's her drawing closer, inviting your energy into her space. Prolonged eye contact? That's no accident either. It's a form of non-verbal intimacy. Her gaze might lock with yours just a second longer than necessary, as if she's letting you into a secret she's not ready to speak. She may touch her hair, bite her lip, or brush her fingers over her collarbone. These aren't just nervous habits, they're subconscious ways of highlighting sensuality and creating allure. And then there's mirroring. If you lean in and she does too, or you cross your legs and she follows suit, this is her body syncing with yours. It's a dance of mutual resonance, where attraction speaks louder than any conversation. Watch her posture, her orientation, her gestures. They form a mosaic of subtle clues that, when read together, reveal just how tuned in to you she truly is. 2. Flushed skin, the coloring of excitement. A woman's skin tells stories, especially when desire enters the picture. One of the most telling signs of physical arousal is a natural, gentle flush that appears across her face, neck, and sometimes her chest. Why does this happen? It's the body's physiological reaction to heightened emotional and physical stimulation. Blood flow increases to the skin's surface, creating that warm, pink glow that's hard to miss. But the meaning goes deeper. That flush isn't just about biology, it's about vulnerability. It's her body saying, I feel something. And in the right context, a flirtatious moment, a deep conversation, a spark of connection, it becomes a physical manifestation of emotional intensity. Not all women show this flush in the same way. Some are more prone to it based on skin tone or sensitivity. But if you notice a change in her complexion when you're close, consider what her body might be revealing. Even if her words stay guarded, the environment matters too. A candle-lit dinner, a quiet moment in the car, an unexpected laugh. These subtle emotional shifts can elevate her arousal, and her skin often reflects it before her words ever do. 3. Breathing, the rhythm of rising tension. Breath is the soundtrack of arousal. When a woman is emotionally or physically excited, her breathing shifts, and you can often hear it before you see it. She may begin to breathe more rapidly, shallowly, or irregularly. Her chest may rise and fall with an almost imperceptible urgency. These aren't random changes, they're the body's way of priming itself for emotional or physical intimacy. Now pay close attention to context. Is her breath quickening as you share something vulnerable? Is it deepening in a quiet, candlelit setting? That's her body responding in real time to emotional stimuli. Breathing can also be tied to comfort. If she feels safe with you, her breath may slow and deepen. But if you notice a slight catch in her breath, a pause, a sigh, these are all emotional breadcrumbs leading to her deeper state of mind. 4. Eye dilation, the biological tell. They say the eyes are windows to the soul, but they're also windows to desire. When a woman is aroused, her pupils tend to dilate. This involuntary biological reaction is one of the most powerful silent signals of attraction. Larger pupils are your cue that she's emotionally engaged, curious, and possibly captivated. But it's not just about pupil size. It's about the nature of her gaze. Is it steady, soft, intense? A lingering look can communicate longing, interest, and vulnerability all in one. If she holds your gaze longer than normal, or if she locks eyes and then quickly looks away with a shy smile, that's her emotional world speaking through micro-reactions. 5. Sensitivity to touch, the body's whisper. Touch is where emotion meets the physical world. When a woman is aroused, her skin becomes more sensitive, more reactive to even the lightest contact. A brush of your hand on hers, a playful nudge, a shared laugh that brings you shoulder to shoulder. In these moments, the physical becomes meaningful. Her response may be subtle, a slight shiver, leaning into your touch, or even a moment of stillness as she feels the energy exchange. These are sacred cues that she's not just mentally engaged, she's physically attuned. But timing and intention matter. A touch that feels welcome in one context can feel intrusive in another. Always tune in to her response. Is she receptive, relaxed, excited? Your sensitivity makes the difference between connection and discomfort. Let's take this further and reflect on what these signs truly represent, not just as signals of arousal, but as indicators of trust, openness, and readiness for deeper emotional connection. These signs are never guarantees. They are signals, yes, but not permissions. They're insights, not invitations, and the difference between understanding and entitlement is massive. The more you understand these subtle cues, the more fluent you become in emotional connection. And that, my friend, is where real intimacy begins. So next time you're in a moment of closeness with someone you care about, pay attention, not just to the signs, but to the silence between them, not just to her body, but to her comfort. Because real attraction, the kind that lasts, isn't loud. It's quiet, it's slow, it's safe, and that's what makes it powerful. Thanks for watching this far. You're clearly someone who values deep connection, not just surface-level attraction. If this video resonated with you, share it with a friend who could use a more respectful, thoughtful approach to relationships. Subscribe to Stoicism Drive, and be part of a growing community that believes in mindful masculinity and soulful connection. Until next time, stay grounded and stay kind. Let's dive even deeper. Each of these 5 signs is rooted not just in biology but in complex psychological processes. And the more you understand the psychology behind them, the better you become at forming meaningful, lasting connections. For example, body language. Many men focus solely on the obvious cues, smiles, hair flips, leaning in, but the truth is, women often express interest through much subtler signals. A slight tilt of the head when you speak, a soft laugh that lingers just a bit too long. These are the details that signal comfort and curiosity. When you learn to notice them, you're no longer just reacting, you're relating. Let's talk about flushed skin. Yes, it's a physiological response, but it's also deeply emotional. That rush of blood, it doesn't happen randomly. It's triggered by emotional engagement, by a moment of surprise, laughter, empathy, or even vulnerability. If you open up and share something real, and she blushes, that's not just arousal, that's resonance. Breathing changes are perhaps the most overlooked. Many assume that faster breathing always equals excitement, but it can also signal nervousness, anticipation, even fear. The key is to observe the pattern over time. Is she getting more relaxed with you, or more tense? Reading these rhythms helps you pace your own energy and create a sense of safety. And eye dilation. Few things are as primal. Studies in neuroscience show that we are evolutionarily wired to respond to dilated pupils. Our brains register them as signs of trust, attraction, and safety. That's why in candlelight, when pupils naturally enlarge, everything feels more intimate. Knowing this, you can consciously choose environments that enhance emotional presence. Touch, finally, is where it all converges. A woman's sensitivity to touch increases when she feels emotionally connected, not just physically stimulated. If you hold her hand during a walk, place your hand gently on her back in a protective gesture, or brush her arm during a shared laugh, watch how she reacts. Touch isn't just about contact, it's about conversation. But here's something even more important. True masculine energy doesn't chase these signs. It creates the environment for them to flourish. Instead of focusing on how to spot arousal, Shift your mindset to, how can I be the kind of man who makes her feel safe enough to express herself fully? This means being present, grounded, and emotionally intelligent. It means not rushing. It means being okay with silence, with moments of vulnerability, with not knowing what comes next. It means listening, not to reply, but to understand. When you bring this kind of energy into your interactions, women respond, not because you're using tactics, but because you're offering something rare: authenticity. And remember, emotional safety is the greatest aphrodisiac. More than muscles, more than looks, more than words. When she feels emotionally safe, she becomes physically open. When she feels emotionally seen, she becomes physically responsive. So build that foundation, and the signs? They'll appear naturally. Let's finish with one powerful example. Imagine you're having a conversation with a woman over coffee. You're not trying to impress her. You're being honest. You're sharing a story about a challenge you overcame, something that made you stronger but also humbled you. As you speak, you notice her leaning in, her eyes wide and soft. She doesn't interrupt. She touches her necklace unconsciously. Her breathing is slow but steady. She smiles, not a big grin, but something gentle, almost reflective. That's not just attraction. That's connection. That's trust. And when those signs appear, your job isn't to escalate. Your job is to honor them, to continue holding space, to continue listening. Because the most attractive man in the room isn't the loudest, the richest, or the smoothest. He's the one who knows how to see her, not just her body, but her truth. So become that man. Thank you for choosing to go deeper today. If this video spoke to something in you, if it helped you reflect, or feel more empowered, please support our mission by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with others. Leave a comment below about which sign you've noticed most in your own experience. We read every comment and use your feedback to create better, more useful content every week. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and stay grounded. Let's take things even further. To truly understand these signs of arousal, we must put them into real-world contexts, scenarios where these signals are not theoretical, but observable and interpretable by an emotionally intelligent man. Imagine you're at a quiet dinner party. There's soft music in the background, candlelight flickering on the table. She's sitting across from you, not just listening but tuned in. She leans forward when you speak, not out of obligation, but because her body is responding to your energy. Her arms are uncrossed, and her face relaxes when you make her laugh. These are real-time signals, but what's more important is how you respond to them. Most men in this situation either miss these signals entirely or misinterpret them and act too fast. But a stoic man understands that desire blooms best in the presence of respect. Instead of rushing in, he breathes, he listens, he allows silence to do its job. That patience creates space for deeper intimacy. And that space is what unlocks more authentic responses from her. Consider this. The very nature of arousal is tied to anticipation. When something builds slowly, it often becomes more powerful. This is true in storytelling, in music, and especially in relationships. The 5 signs of arousal we've discussed are not just tools to notice attraction. They are invitations to deepen the emotional pace. You don't pull her in. You allow her to arrive. That's power. Now let's explore the psychology of misreading signs. Sometimes a woman may appear open, even flirtatious, but not be in an aroused or intimate state. This is where grounding and discernment matter. If you're overly focused on the outcome, on what you want from her, you'll fail to hear what her energy is actually saying. The most powerful thing you can do is slow down and ask yourself, am I connecting? Or am I performing? Am I being present, or trying to achieve something? This self-awareness is magnetic. Women pick up on it. It tells them, this man sees me as a person, not a prize. And that, ironically, makes physical attraction even more likely, because trust precedes chemistry. Let's take another example. You're walking together after dinner. There's no agenda, no pressure, just presence. As you talk, you mention something meaningful from your past, maybe a loss, a lesson, or a turning point in your life. She stops walking for a moment, puts her hand on your arm, and says, that's really powerful. You notice her voice is softer now. Her eye contact is steady. Her body is slightly angled toward you. She's not just hearing you, she's feeling you. These are not just signs of interest. These are moments of alignment, of emotional resonance. When this happens, the right response isn't a line or a move, it's simply to be there. To let the intimacy unfold naturally. This mindset isn't just good for relationships, it changes who you are. It makes you more grounded, more attractive, and more fulfilled. You stop seeking validation and start building connection. You stop hunting moments and start cultivating presence. And that's what Stoicism Drive is about. We're not here to teach you tricks or shortcuts. We're here to help you become a man who listens better, leads more gently, and connects more deeply with women, with life, with yourself. So whether you're single, dating, or in a long-term relationship, remember this. The signs are all around you, but their power is unlocked not by watching harder, but by feeling deeper. If you made it this far, you're already ahead of most. Like this video, subscribe, share it with a man who wants to understand not just how women work, but how human connection works. You are part of a movement of emotionally intelligent, growth-oriented men who believe that connection matters more than conquest. Until next time, stay patient, stay humble, and stay grounded.